and welcome back to Scout Report. This week we're taking a close look at 5 of the worst signings this season. 5. Danny Drinkwater. Danny Drinkwater arrived at Chelsea for £35 million in 2017, suggesting that the Englishman would be a key part of Antonio Conte's title defence. Nearly a year on, Drinkwater has played just 522 league minutes and can only claim to have Ross Barkley behind him in the Blues' pecking order. With such a short time on the field, it's dangerous to draw conclusions from Drinkwater's stats, but the long-term trends don't look good. The 2016 title winner plays marginally more passes per 90 since his move to London, with 65 to 62, but only 54% go forward compared to 63% at Leicester. That could be due to the Fox's direct style, but Drinkwater's defending is also on the wane, with tackles and interceptions sliding from 3.4 to 3. While chance creation hasn't seen a rise to compensate, Drinkwater still makes a mediocre one key pass per match, and as a consequence is yet to pick up his first assist at Stamford Bridge to add to the single goal he's managed. It seems fairly clear that the former Man United trainee is simply filling a homegrown slot for Conte's men. It's irritating to see that space wasted on a 28-year-old with little hope of improvement when Ruben Loftus-Cheek has impressed on loan at Crystal Palace. And the move has been a calamity for the player. Drinkwater was not named in Gareth Southgate's squad for England's spring friendlies against Italy and the Netherlands, meaning that he could miss on the 2018 World Cup. After waiting until 26 for his Three Lions call-up, it would be sad for the Mancunian if his international career came to an end after only 3 caps. 4. Blaise Matuidi. Yes, Blaise Matuidi may win the league with Juventus this season, which would put him in 5 titles in 6 years, and no one could possibly argue that the Frenchman is useless. But Juve's squad have an average age of 29, the oldest in Serie A, so perhaps signing a young central midfielder rather than 31-year-old Matuidi might have been wise, especially as bonuses could see his fee rise to €30 million. At his best, Matuidi was both an attacking threat and a defensive dynamo, with Thiago Motta and Marco Verratti allowing him to get forward in PSG's 3-man midfield. In the 15-16 campaign, he scored or assisted every 206 minutes, an impressive output from a deep position. But last year, that slipped to a goal involvement every 302 minutes. This year, every 532 minutes, with his chance creation halving over the last 18 months. Perhaps his role has changed, and now Matuidi is defending more? Unfortunately not. Since 2016, he's gone from making 4.4 tackles and interceptions per 90 to completing only 2.5. Though still attack-minded, playing it forward 60% of the time, the former Saint Etienne man's involvement in possession has declined, falling from 70 passes a match to 50. With these worrying trends, it's unsurprising that the Bianconeri are targeting reinforcements in the centre of the park, publicly courting Liverpool's promising Emre Can. 3. Kevin Wimmer. Sometimes transfers are not the way to solve your problems. For example, Stoke signed 4 defenders this season: Kurt Zouma on loan for an insane fee of €8 million, Bruno Martins Indy for €8 million, Maurice Bauer for €6 million and Kevin Wimmer for €19 million, making the Austrian the second most expensive player in the club's history. The former Tottenham man has played just 1,300 minutes for the Potters this term, with Paul Lambert putting the defender on a special exercise regime in January due to concerns over his fitness. Though it's hard to assess defenders with simple stats like tackle numbers because they have to work within a larger unit, the 25-year-old looks okay on paper, winning possession 3 times a match and making 6 clearances, even though his aerial ability is surprisingly poor with just 44% success rate in duels. But the big money centre-back hasn't stopped Stoke putting together one of the worst defences in Europe this year. The club have conceded around 15 shots per game, a number which ranks 91st out of the 98 teams in the continent's top 5 leagues. Despite the highly rated Butland between the sticks, they've let in 65 goals. Only 3 out of the other 97 teams have allowed more, and only 3 have a worse goal difference than their -33. That record makes relegation almost certain, and Wimmer could be a lead weight for the championship side as he earns a reported £70k a week, only behind Berahino. That means Stoke have spent around £9 million on 2 players who've barely contributed this year. The perfect recipe for doing a Sunderland. 2. Vitolo. Much like Chelsea with Danny Drinkwater, if you're going to buy a veteran, you want them to contribute to your team immediately. So it was strange when Atletico Madrid paid €36 million for Vitolo in the summer of 2017, given that he couldn't play for the club until January, thanks to their transfer ban. Atleti had to loan him back to Las Palmas for half the season, during which time the Spaniard turned 28. But at least that kept him sharp, allowing him to become an important squad member once the winter window arrived. But that's not how it worked out, as Vitolo has played only 400 league minutes since joining Atleti, starting just 5 matches. In that time, the utility man has picked up 2 assists and a goal, a decent record, but one that masks some teething problems. His chances created have slumped from 1.8 per 90 to 0.4, and shots have slid from 1.2 to 1. Even defensive output has dropped from 2.2 tackles and interceptions per match to 1.4, shocking given the work rate that Simeone demands. Despite his lack of action off the ball, Vitolo has somehow picked up a yellow card and a red since starting his career in Madrid. Neither one for the future nor for the moment, Vitolo looks like another to be added to Jackson Martinez, Augusto Fernandez and Nico Gaetan in Simeone's pile of transfer mistakes. 1. Andre Silva. Here at Eurofootball Daily, we love Andre Silva and fully expect the Portuguese forward to come good. But his high-profile move from Porto to Milan last summer has been nothing but a disaster, with the Rossoneri refusing to give the 22-year-old the minutes he needs to develop. Silva has started just 7 league matches in Italy, coming on as a sub on 16 occasions, and his numbers are unsurprisingly poor, with only 2 Serie A goals. But in the Europa League, it's a different story, with the forward bagging 6 goals in 700 minutes, suggesting that he isn't entirely useless. And that's a viewpoint backed up by his underlying stats, which are basically unchanged from those which brought him 16 goals and 5 assists last year for Porto. Shots per 90 have dropped slightly from 3.6 to 3.3, but he still takes a whopping 85% of those from inside the box. While his creativity has actually improved, with 1.4 chances created in Portugal rising to 1.6 in Italy. Silva is also dribbling more, completing 1.2 take-ons per 90 to the 0.8 he managed the previous season, so it seems unlikely that he's struggling to make a physical step up to the tougher league, and the fact he's being fouled nearly twice a game suggests that he's perceived as a danger by his opponents, or at least getting into a dangerous area on the pitch. The youngster has all the materials to become a really good striker, and if Milan aren't willing to give him their trust, they shouldn't have paid €38 million for him. Sadly for Silva, while he's been sidelined at the San Siro, Cristiano Ronaldo has completed his transition into the centre-forward position, while Monaco's Lopez and Valenciennes Guedes have been involved in 31 league goals between them, making Silva's starting spot at the World Cup look less than secure. It'd be a tragedy if one bad season ruined his career with both club and country. Thank you for watching. That was the worst signings of the season, and if you like that, why don't you go over to FD, where we've got hot takes all by itself on its own strand, so give that a like and a watch and everything in between, and don't forget to like and subscribe.